Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are doing a Pro Sim Racing hosted with GTP and Plebian Racing IMSA 2022 Championship Challenge. Here we are today for round 1 at Watkins Glen. In a couple weeks' time, we'll be at Mosport. Round 3 is going to be at Road America. Next up is VIR, and the finale, just like IMSA, is going to be at Road Atlanta. We've got 3 different classes of cars here today to let's go look and see what's in store for us right now. In the GTLM category, we have people from not only all across the nation, but all across the globe. Jeffrey Bray, or Jay Bray as I like to call him, Armando Hanley, Francisco Gonzalez, Jean Reyes, James Blint, James Leader, Adam Pridgeon, Greg Schimmer, Andres Lopez, James Pendry, Michael Leonard, and Jamie Morrison. Rounding it out for the category. Qualifying server is just getting going, so stand by, folks, as things get settled in. Heading on over to GTD while we look for the server, it's going to be Vicente de Silva leading the GT Panama crew. Robert Walia, John Crane, Matteo Venuti, and Luis Santamaria, Ramiro Dominguez, Mike Fazal, DJ Harris, Wicca, Don Debine, and Estefano Barrera, Rodriguez Hernandez. I'm just kidding, I made all that last part up, but Estefano Barrera is possibly not going to be here tonight. I couldn't tell what he was saying in Discord. I apologize if that was Ramiro or if that was Estefano with other obligations. But that rounds it out for GTD. Now let's take a look at the other category, TCRs. We've got Dave Martin in the number 4 leading the charge for Plebian Racing, it looks like. Emiliano Videla from GTP as well. Brett Vaughn. Luke Bowmeister from the Blue Gang, and we've got Frederick Soderstead. I'm so sorry, Frederick. Please forgive me and DM me your correct pronunciation after this championship, or after this race. Alfonso Mason in the 88 and 80 in the 97, is Pasha Patterson, driving the Alfa Romeo, a car he's familiar with. I'm going to be expecting to see him towards the front of the field. In the 99 Honda for the GTP team, it's Alejandro Fernandez. Beautiful looking cars and some very, very stylish liveries. think everything is just still getting organized. Servers look to be down. Fantastic. Good to know. Good to know. Let's keep looking at these liveries since we have the time. Looking back at the GTD category. I changed it. I updated it. I updated it a million times. Did it again. Hit refresh. Holy Toledo. Technical issues here in the 21st century just get me. I'm still set to streaming Circuit Superstars. Okay. Do I not spell it right? I don't understand. Anyways, it's done now, and it's definitely done now. You want to know how I know it's done now? Because I went to the Twitch website to go do it. Oh, yeah. There we go. All up in that Asceta Corsa chat room. Still waiting on the server, folks. I apologize for the delay. Oh. Excuse me. Excuse me. The server is live. The server is live. We're trying to get in. What's going on, Mr. Plebian? All right. Looks like the race is on, folks. Looks like the race is on. And we've got a way to go look at the split class standing. So I am very, very, very excited to see how this all works. Not only for me, but also for you guys. Here I am. We're in a beautiful little alpha. So it looks like qualifying is getting going. We gotta get... Stand by. And here we go. We have got it all sorted out. We are spectating the GTLM class on board with James Blint right now. Right on. Got the audio on as well, of course. Game sounds and bounds. only 10 minutes left of qualifying. I hope we have enough time to get a look at all the other cars. Now we're taking a look at Greg Schimmer with a 225.67. Gotta admit, I'm not quite familiar with what the lap times are going to be around here. Pridgeon throws up a 2:11.42. Blint snaps back, finally gets one through. There's a 1:43.9. Looks like everybody's just getting their outlap settled in. Must be a 15-minute qualifying. I said I apologize for not being too hip with it. First time running. Beautiful livery from Greg Schimmer. Walia gets in 1:44.9. Track's only at 97%. Temperatures are up there into the 30s already. Looking at Pridgeon coming around and into the toe. God, I love Watkins Glen. Pridgeon now coming around the hill. Oh, and the roar of that Chevy. Sounds amazing. Let's take a look at what GTD's been up to. Robert Walia's up at the top, 1:44.9. Dominguez with a 1:45.6. Santa Maria with a 1:47. John Crane, De Silva, and Harris not setting laps yet. Only 7 minutes left in qualifying, perhaps waiting for the track to rubber in, or perhaps just not ready to get one going. Schimmer. Excuse me. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. Oh, that's Martin. Hello, Martin. Good to see you, brother. Mr. Smith, I should say. Dominguez getting to the line, goes a little bit faster, not fast enough to keep up with Walia. That's going to be 45.1. Chops off a couple tenths, but not enough. Santa Maria coming around. Let's see what this lap has led to for them, going wide at the end of the lap. Getting to the line. Anything in the tank for Santa Maria? No, doesn't have anything valid at least. Michael Fazal coming to the grid now in the 80 Chevy. Has 6.5 minutes to try to get one down. That'll be enough to get at least 4 laps plus an outer if he gets out. Now, De Silva taking my advice, getting that out lap out. John Crane going better through Sector 1 in the Aston. Putting along nice and fine like. John Crane is blazing. Sector 2, he's a 1.5 seconds faster He's definitely got it together this time. Thanks for the follow, Martin Smith. Appreciate it, brother. Going through the last couple of corners. This one's really tricky. It closes up on you towards the end. He's got to keep it planted. Don't go too wide. He kept it very patient. Last two corners nearly flat out. Till you get to the heavy little pump of the brake zone for the last corner. Throws it in. Another tight one to the wall. Pushes hard all the way to the line. Did he keep it together? He did. John Crane goes into third place with his 47.0. Just a few hundredths ahead of Santa Maria. 5 minutes left on the clock. I'm sure he's going to have another go at it. At least one more. On board, looking at Santa Maria. What can they come up with? They went a little bit to the inside towards the S's. I'm not sure that's going to help their cause in Sector 1. Let's take a look and see what happens at the bus stop. Beautiful helicopter shot of this. Goes a little bit wide again. That must have invalidated the lap. Michael Fazal, welcome to the grid in the Ben Juice racing car. Looking awfully stylish in that Chevy. Ooh, yep. My brain is melting. I apologize, folks. It's early for a Sunday morning. Been out late, obviously, like the rest of us. Mike probably just getting an outlap in. There it was. Yeah, John Crane pushing hard. Faster in Sector 2 by a second and a half. Must have had something go wrong in Sector 1, though. Not quite keeping up with their personal best. Probably going to set up for a fast one this time around. Oh, excuse me, John Crane, green. 46.9 for them. That all went better everywhere they looked on that last lap. I don't know what the timing was showing me. Let's take a look at TCRs in the last couple minutes that we do have. Luke locking it up in the third to final corner coming out of a heel. That tight corner I talked about earlier. Looks like he's pushing hard. 155.8 up on the board for him. Ooh, squeaking tires again into the final corner. Pushing hard, going to the wall. Almost touched it, it looked like. This has got to be a fast one for him. Smoke coming off the track in front of him. Oh, he might have been setting one up. Let's wait for everything to reload as I just joined the server. This is going to be it for TCR. Luke Baumeister provisionally in pole. Solderstedt in second. Emiliano Videla in third. Brett Vaughn, I believe, is in fourth. Kemp in fifth. And Mason in sixth. Alfonso Mason, excuse me, and Alejandro Fernandez. Excuse me, Kemp is the name I don't have on the spotter's guide. I apologize. This has been a last minute Hyundai entry. Pasha Patterson here didn't show up on the timing tower because I hadn't had him load in yet. On board with him. Finally has his laps put together. Lock up a little bit. You saw the dusty smoke in the rear view behind. Oh, another little tiny lockup of this TCR. You gotta have the bias set just right to keep the car to rotate in. Pasha seems to have it put just right. pushing pretty hard, keeping it within the track limits for sure. Coming through the final corner, does he have it all put down? Where does this put him on the leaderboard, though? He'll have time to do one more, but it'll take a lot of stress off his back if he has it done now. I don't have him up on the board. Let's take a look at the overall, see if we can catch Patterson. There he is in the 97. 1, 2, 3, 4 positions back. 4th in class, solidly mid-pack. He's probably going to be pretty happy about that one. Qualifying checkered flag looks to be out for most of the runners now. James Blint taking pole now. James Pendry taking second in the 73 Porsche. James Leader taking third in the 17 Porsche. Adam Pridgeon taking fourth. Greg Schimmer in fifth. Good showing out of him. Robert Walia in sixth. Dominguez in seventh. Leonard, in 8th, De Silva in 9th, Morrison 10th, Lopez in 11th, John Crane in 12th, Santa Maria in 13th, Junior Gahn in 14th, Baumeister leading the TCRs in 15th, Fred Soderstad, in 16th, Pasha Patterson in 17th. Oh, Emiliano Videla jumps Pasha Patterson on one of their last laps into 17th place. Don't write him off too quickly, it looks like. And looks like that might stick over Pasha Patterson. Let's see as he gets to the line if he's got anything in the tank. I don't think he does. Looks like it all went yellow for him. So Pasha into 17th place. Vaughn in 18th. Maria jumps Morrison. 9th and 10th get inverted. But looks like Vaughn, Kemp, Mason, Harris, Walia, Fazal rounding it all out, and then Hanley. Woo! That was a spicy qualifying. I do want to talk to Pasha Patterson. Let's go find him in voice chat. Let's see if we can do this. Hi, and I've got Pasha Patterson here with me in the booth for the PSR IMSA Championship 2022. Pasha, what do you want to say about your qualifying run?
Well, it's I I joined TCR just because front wheel drive cars are kind of my jam, and I figured that was probably my best chance of not embarrassing myself today. And then I saw the rest of the entry list, and I thought, oh boy. But I'm solidly mid pack. That's probably where I generally run. So I'm overall, I think I'm pretty pleased.
And then what do you think about Emiliano Videla getting you on the last lap? Were you pushing on that last lap because you got your heater in on the second to last one? What was going through your mind when you saw him cross the line?
Oh, I was entirely occupied with just trying not to put my car into the Armco. It's a constant struggle. So I'm just happy to see Emiliano on the track with us today. It's been a long time since we've raced together, and it's always fun. So I'm really excited for today. I can't really pay too much attention to how fast other people are going because I know most of them are going to be faster. I'm just happy to be here, Bob.
Oh, no, absolutely. Thank you very much, Basha, for taking the time and joining me in the booth. I really do appreciate it. I'll let you go back to the rest of the grid now. I'm going to try to grab the Jameses and see what they have to say about their qualifying.
Yeah, that was I'm pretty happy with my qualifying. Even though I'm the slowest of the Jameses, I'm still only like a 10th off pole. So this is going to be an interesting race.
It is awfully tight. Do the other Jameses have anything to say about their qualifying?
Yeah, mine, I'm pretty disappointed. I had at least 4/10 at some point, but then my tires fell off. So I think I could have gotten pole, but it's a 90-minute race. Anything can happen.
That's absolutely true. Does anybody have anything up their sleeves as far as a pit strategy, a fuel strategy up at the front? Or are you guys just planning on keeping it secret or keeping it safe?
I'm just winging it. I don't know.
I'm keeping it so secret, even I don't know.
I'm just here for the safety rating.
I was about to get to you, Greg Shimmer. Please wait your turn. Thank you so much to the Jameses for joining me in the booth. I really appreciate your time and the cooperation. I will get to Greg Shimmer, but let me get my popcorn first. Greg Shimmer, you are in the booth. I'm grabbing the popcorn because I'm excited to see you up at the front. How are you doing? Have you put in quite a bit of practice to be up there?
Yeah, I think I put about 120 laps on the practice server.
Right on. Do you think you're going to be now all that practice? It's a 90-minute race.
Race
Are you going to be
server's up.
consistent? Don't yell at me, Adam Pridgeon. Thank you very much, though. You just heard word from my producer, Adam Pridgeon, that the server is available. So
I'm going to try my
Shimmer,
best, try to work my way up. I'm going to try to just be consistent, so.
and passing will be the name of the game. So what is your key to making these passes possible?
Try to make a good pass without hitting anybody.
Right on.
I don't know if I'll be making some passes, but we'll see. I'm going to try to keep up with these front three or four, so.
Absolutely, and good luck. Looks like the grid is set. I'm going to get out of your hair. Take care, everybody.
Woo.
Bye!
Well, that was a hoot and a heck of a good time. I sure enjoyed that, folks. I hope sure you did. I do. Want to set the mood for this race. Because it's going to be a humdinger, folks.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Apologize for some of the technical details and kerfunkles, but we're ready to go. The grid is almost set, folks. We've got a formation lap, and then we're going to have an out lap, and then we're going to have a formation lap, if I'm not mistaken, and then we're going to go. We've got indicator lights off to the side, so hopefully we'll be able to call the ball. These drivers are going to have ice cold tires, baby. It's going to be treacherous. I do not envy them one bit. I do want to take a look at the grid while we have the time, and I think we will because of the style of the formation. But we've got beautiful liveries to go through. I know I am not Pasha Patterson, who does this quite better than I do, but we'll try our best. Leading it off for GTLM, it's James Blint looking in a somewhat stock livery. I'm not quite too sure about this one. Looks nice and clean, though. Oh, looks like we may have jumped a couple cars. Of course it does this to me. James Pendry in a Gulf livery, looking very clean and slick. James Leader in the Blue Gang, representative of the 90s upholstery you'd see on a bus. Greg Schimmer flying the typical gray, purple, and orange scheme, looking very uniform. Part of the Zero Bandwidth Autosports team, obviously. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Check him out on the Gas 300. Adam Pridgeon also flying in the GTLM for the Blue Gang, guys. A nice livery. Pridgeon flying across the top of the banner. Blue Gang inverted on the front to let you know who you got beat by. DJ Harris in the... I believe this is DJ Harris. In the no, this is not DJ Harris. I apologize. No, this is DJ Harris. DJ Harris in the 777 GTP stock badged car. Don't worry about the lights, folks. We're not getting underway yet. We do have the out lap and formation lap to go. Leonard flying the other GTP livery. Lopez Andres from GT Panama flying the Panamanian flag on the door as well in the Loltec sponsored vehicle. Beautiful work with the Loltec boys and girls do. Can't believe the GTP social human banner has flown this clean for so long. Going back to Junior Gonzalez in the Grapplebees car. Another beautiful color scheme here with the GTP badging on the door, as well as the affiliates all across it. A. Hanley in a beautiful color scheme, yellow and blue GTP. I should say still in the GTLM category, by the way, folks. Robert Walia heading up the GTD category in the BMW M4, from what I can tell. Ramiro Dominguez in P2 for that category in another GTP vehicle. Loltec Gaming being the title sponsor. Look at these door badges. Look at the livery station on the top flying high. Vicente De Silva flying the other GTP car in the GTD category. What a tongue twister that is. Tell me to say that three times real fast. Looks like, we might have skipped Luis Santamaria, who may have gained a position on the on the out lap. And then Michael Fazal, GTP. I didn't even mention the livery in the yellow and blue, shiny livery. Michael Fazal always flying the Benjus by PSR in the, I'm going to call it chocolate brown and teal blue highlighted vehicle. Pridgeon's out. Might be able to reconnect and get back into this one. DJ Harris is where we left off, right next to John Crane in the almost Benjus racing livery, I would say. And then we had DJ Harris on the outside in the other Aston, it looks like. Luke Baumeister Heading it up for P1 in the Blue Gang for the Audi cars. We got Frederick Schur. Oh, God. I'm just going to call him Fred. I apologize. In the 71 Honda. Emiliano Videla, Pasha Patterson, Brett Vaughn, and Simon Kemp. We didn't even go over the liveries. I apologize. Emiliano Videla in another Lowtech livery station vehicle. I forgot we still have one more lap to go. Oh, maybe not. The boys look to be formed up. Oh. Uh-oh, looks like Ramiro Dominguez has a cut penalty for jumping the start. Oh no, Jamie Morrison gets turned around right away at the start. Oh no, that might be it for them. Looks like someone's waiting up in sympathy. The leaders are away. James Pendry's up 2. James Blintz net 0. James Leader's up 1. Greg Schimmer 1. And Leonard's up 2. Apologize, I wasn't sure. I thought we were going to have another lap there for a second. Looks to be not. As everything is gone off now. Great turnout indeed from Don. Thank you very much. I thought you were going to be in the field. I guess not. Leonard going side to side with Walia. Another side by side with Dominguez and Junior Gone right behind. Holy Toledo, there's action everywhere. Up and down this grid. Oh, and it's just madness behind. Looking at Santa Maria on the inside of Fazal into the bus stop chicane. Fazal goes over the bumps, sends Santa Maria wide, and Fazal gets spun around at the end of the chicane. That's a casualty for the category. Fazal to the back of GTD. Harris is through on Crane after all that went down. Andres Lopez catching back up to Fazal. Oh, this is different. This is GTLM Lopez in the GTLM category trying to get past Fazal early after their early accident. Well, hello from Hawaii, or should I say aloha from Hawaii. Looks like De Silva and Pridgeon in the pits. Pridgeon looks to be back in the race. Thank goodness, glad to see that. So I'm trying to move all these real penalty apps. Doesn't look like I can, actually. It's kind of annoying. Apologize. I didn't know this was all going to pop up like that. All right, back to the action. I swear this time we've got Armando Hanley chasing down Junior Gone. And let's see the rest of the category, though. GTLM is split by two GTDs. Robert Walia and Ramiro Dominguez are separating, Junior Gone, Hanley, and Long Leonard, but there was a huge lockup just in my peripheral. Couldn't see who that was right in front of Pendry. Excuse me, not in front of Pendry, behind Pendry. Emiliano Videla inversed with Pasha Patterson finally. Everybody said it was a 90-minute race. It sure is. Videla behind Patterson now after an impressive qualifying out of them both. Santa Maria made one through on Harris, but we're looking at John Crane chasing down Leonard. Let's take a look at Emiliano Videla chasing down Pasha Patterson. Going through the final corner now, headed towards turn 1. Luke Baumeister seems to have made a breakaway. Almost 8-second gap separating P1 and P2 in TCR in just a few laps. Emiliano Videla going to the inside towards the chicane. Oh, he bounces over the inside curve. Pasha goes to the outside curve. Pasha goes to the inside, tries to hold on, bounces himself, leaves a ton of space, and Emiliano Videla is through. Position taken. Oh, looks like Santa Maria and Harris are still exchanging paint and blows. Coming out of the boot side by side. Oh, looks like Santa Maria is about to go wide. Comes back to the racing line right in front of DJ Harris. Someone's off and into the pit. Looks like Leonard out of the GTLM category is taking his pit, trying to get out of the way early. Maybe having a little bit of damage from some earlier incidences. And trying to recover now while they still can. That's Andres Lopez in the background in the number 42 Chevy, trying to make eventually their way by. Get back with the fight at hand in the GTLM category. Snaking their way through, separating the fighting duo. Coming around the inside. Holy Toledo, the passing is complete. I thought they would have waited until the end of the outer loop, but that might be the way to make a move happen. Oh no, looks like a big ol' incident out of Luke Baumeister forced him to go back to the pits, restarting this race over a minute down now behind. Looks like Fred as well may have had an incident down to the back of the field. Not sure quite what's going on, but now Pasha Patterson has inherited second in place right behind Emiliano Videla. GTLM Armando Hanley has a moment there at the end of the heel. Pushes hard, looks like he contacted a few walls now. Sitting in 11th place behind the most of the front runners in the GTD category. Michael Fazal having a peaceful recovery drive, now caught up to Santa Maria. Now on board with Andreas Lopez for just a moment. Beautiful helicopter cam of them going through the bus stop chicane. Ooh, Michael Zal getting awfully close to Santa Maria. Definitely going to make this thing happen soon. John Crane in this little sandwich between Junior Gahn and Andreas Lopez. Little GTLM sandwich for him. Not where he expected to be today, that's for sure. Fighting for third position in class, but not against these guys. Wants to get out of the way, but wants to stick to the racing line at the same time. James Pendry looks to be awkwardly trying to find his way through. Now, looks like Junior Gahn's under threat from getting passed by the junior category GTD. Position swapping back and forth for just a moment, but now we're on board looking at Fazal. Staring at the derriere of Santa Maria, and looks like John Crane is through on Junior Gahn with significant enough damage to where he is not fighting in his own class anymore. Junior Gahn going for a bit of a lunge into T1. Fighting with John Crane a little unnecessarily. This is allowing, I believe that's Hanley now to catch up as well. Excuse me, that's DJ Harris to catch back up as well. Okay, looks like it's Lopez in front now of Junior Gahn and John Crane. Looks like Lopez went through while the duo fought. This isn't good for John Crane because now he's been caught by DJ Harris. And he's not going to be too pleased about that. This has cost him a lot of time. I would be just as frustrated, to be honest. I can't believe it. He doesn't want to get out of the way, obviously, but he doesn't want to pit, I guess. Junior Gahn better pick up the pace here in a little bit. Oh, looks like he's through now. Look away for 1 second. And Junior Gahn's had his accident and is off. He's about to pull up the lap timing to see what their lap times were to get a validation of what was going on, but it looks like problems that solve themselves, it seems. Oh, Alfonso Mason getting passed by, that looked like one of the Blue Gang cars, the Adam Pridgeon for sure. Getting around the TCRs. Greg Shimmer battling out with Robert Wally of all people. GTLM on GTD. Junior Gonzalez still trying to cling on to a battle. Now looking at Hanley in front. Coming around the outer loop and looking at the toe. Oh no, and there goes Hanley. Gets the commentator's curves just as soon as I mentioned his name, and we're on board with Simon Kemp in the number 19 Hyundai in 20th place. Just a couple of leaders in category passing us by. That was Robert Walia and Ramiro Dominguez just getting by there. Looking at Vicente De Silva getting past their TCR traffic. On their way up the hill through the S's. Looks like that was actually a pass for position with all the kerfunkling that De Silva's been through. Overall now in 17th past the TCR class. Looks like, who is that in the BMW? Also, that's got to be Ramiro Dominguez. Hanley coming into the pit finally after all that damage. Yeah, I think that was Ramiro. Yeah. Oh, Patterson and Pridgeon. That's not a battle for position. That's GTLM and TCR. Oh, no. Pridgeon almost goes off at the heel. Has to do it all over again to get past Patterson. Oh, Pridgeon is having more than just a little wiggle here and there. He's having them everywhere. Oh no! Bowmeister's disconnected again. What the deuce? Are you kidding me? No. No, no, no. Oh, get in general chat. Get in general chat. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. As it stands, James Pendry in P1, James Blint in P2, James Leader in third, Greg Schimmer in fourth in category. Finally got around Robert Walia in the GTD category. Ramiro Dominguez, excuse me, in the GTD category for sixth place. Andreas Lopez in seventh for the GTLM category, fighting back after a couple of accidents. John Crane in GTD, DJ Harris in ninth. Fazal Santa Maria, Junior Gone and Pridgeon having technical issues or other sorts for Gone. Gonzalez, excuse me, in 12th place, but Adam Pridgeon trying to claw his way back. In TCR, it's Emiliano Villa, Vicente de Silva, and Pasha Patterson. And then Vaughn, Mason, Kemp, and Frederick. And then Luke Bowmeister having the DNF. He is out. Oh, little lock-up there in front. Not sure which TCR that was. Looks like Brett Vaughn. In front of Michael Fazal. He's through cleanly. Didn't have to fight for that. Who else are we going to pick on? DJ Harris behind John Crane. The Fighting Aston separated by less than a second right now. Oh, man. What a grid. Look at that track map all blown up and scattered about. In front of Mason, we have Vaughn with a little bit of a lockup as Mason slaps the wall at the end of the heel. Getting passed finally by Junior Gonzalez in the middle of the final corner. Michael Fazal, recovery drive in GTD, started early on lap 1, has had plenty of time to try to trundle back to a good position, let's just say. Has DJ Harris locked in his sights, but has Pasha Patterson in the crosshairs first. Fazal past Pasha Patterson now. Looks like another lockup from Mason. Excuse me, from Vaughn is going to allow Mason to get nice and close. That's a battle for 5th and 6th in class right now for TCR. Gap is awfully wide in other categories, but this GTLM coming through the field of Michael Leonard. Past 4 position technically, but not so true. Battle between Mason and Vaughn looks to be the one of the day right now. Oh, excuse me. Nope, that's another GTLM passing TCR's for position. As James Pendry laps traffic again. James Pendry driving for Hi Racing in this Porsche. Oh, looks like Morrison getting a disconnect there. Oh, and Leonard about to get lapped by the class leader. Oh, little bump in the rump through the bus stop, it looked like, just as soon as I said that. Gets bumped in the rear, slowing down, and now Blint is just on the tail of Pendry. GTLM on GTLM. That damage is going to carry all the way through now, going to the grass for Pendry to get past the TCRs. Blint's not going to wait either. Closes in at the toe. These boys are out for blood. James Blint got a sniff of it with the mistake from Pendry ahead. That little contact gave him all the motivation that he needed through the heel, nice and tight, under 0.3 of a second. Let's see if that gap can hold on. Adam Pridgeon closing in on Santa Maria. He's finally made it happen. 0.3 now for him as well. Pridgeon made a look on the inside of the heel, didn't act on it, tried to scare Santa Maria out of it. But now we're looking at James Blinn on the heel of James Pendry into turn 1, late on the brakes, trying to carry as much speed as he can up through turn 1 and through the S's now. I don't think he's got it done. Pridgeon on the inside of Santa Maria. Through the penultimate corner, in the final corner now, Pridgeon trying to go for a switchback. Is it there? Side by side down the front straight we go, leading in towards turn 1. Pridgeon holding on to the inside line. Doesn't go as far as he needs to. Santa Maria flinches, goes off over the curb, and Pridgeon has the move done for GTLM. Now back with the leaders of GTLM. It's Pendry and Blint. Oh, big ol' send from James Blint around the outside, pushing as hard as he can through these final corners. To the line they go. Last lap, 43.657, 43.5 for Blint. That gap is closing down. Blint is faster than Pendry for now. Lots of traffic, and how you navigate it is going to be how you win the race. These guys are less than a tenth away from each other. Side by side leading towards the bus stop. Blint might be ahead by a nose now. On the outside, cuts off the nose of Pendry, but Pendry goes back through. Knew but Blint was too hot. Couldn't quite keep it planted on the asphalt. Blint has to check up, and now that gap is gone. 1.5 seconds separating the two of them. Excuse me, down to just 1 second. Wow, wow, wow. Less than I thought that mistake was going to cost him. Looking at Greg Schimmer trying to get around Robert Wallia again, battling for position overall, but different categories. How you navigate the traffic. James Blint seems to be catching TCRs in exactly the same spot every single time. They're at the middle of the last two corners. Has to go wide, and that might be costing him a considerable amount of time. 44.9, a couple tenths slower than Pendry ahead that last time round. Looks like Mason's awfully close to Vaughn. This three-way battle's getting a little bit spicy. 88 ahead of the 33. Then the 71 of Frederick wants a piece of this. He was one of our front runners, had a bit of a technical issues. Now is fighting Vaughn behind. And Fred is through. Oh, big old lock up ahead. Now you've got traffic getting involved in this. Fred is trying to shake and bake his way back up through the TCR field. A little lockup from the 88 again, trying to defend against Fred here at the toe. Ooh, side by side. Oh, a little bump in the run from Fred into the 88 of Mason. Stays behind for now. Looks like Vaughn got scared and went off in sympathy of the action he saw ahead. Oh, looks like Emiliano. No. Just kidding. Sorry, that wasn't a battle for position. That's just GTLM getting past TCR for position. Mason still ahead of Fred, but for how long is Fred going to be patient for? Another lockup from the 88 of Mason. Oh, sending him a little wide there, leaving a little less than a track's width per se. Side by side into the bus stop chicane. Smoke flying up from both cars. And it looks like Fred might have made the move happen through the chicane. Looks like one of the leaders being extremely diligent about not wanting to get involved in that. Andreas Lopez having a lockup after being patient with the two of them. James Blint still having to hunt down Pendry ahead. 6/10 separating these two boys. That gap is coming and going for the leaders, floating around that 6/10 mark for now. A couple of zero bandwidth cars getting around each other. Looks like the 20th place car of Mason has pit out for the battle with Fred. Might not be able to make it to the end if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe has officially signed up for the two-stop strategy. Fred, Mason, and Kemp, the only ones in TCR so far taking their regularly scheduled stops. Let's look at the overall GTLM category. I guess just the GTLM category. Apologize. Pendry's made up 2 positions. Blint 0. Leaders gained 1. A couple of the front runners. Pridgeon's lost out. Hanley's lost out. Leonard's lost out, as well as Morrison taking the DNF for race 1. GTD looks like Walia is up a few. Dominguez, Crane, Harris, Fazal, Santa Maria, and De Silva all taking advantage of the GTLM debacles that went on. So let's say an overall gain of just a couple for these guys in class. And for TCR, it's even crazier looking, so this is not right. Okay, my bad. We're not going to look at that anymore. That's just all wrong. Just a couple of tenths now separating the Jameses. Side by side into the bus stop chicane. We saw this before. Are they going to do it again? They sure are. Looks like Pendry went to the grass on the inside. Excuse me, Blint had to go to the grass on the inside to give Blint the... Blint went to the grass on the inside to give Pendry the room on the outside. Golly, my brain. Oh, deep on the brakes into the toe. Holy Toledo.
Hello.
There's an apex in there somewhere. How's it going, Luke Bomeister?
It's could be better.
Oh, yeah. What happened to your race?
Yeah, I just got disconnected a few times, so at that point I was multiple laps down. It's not really worth continuing. It's a shame, but oh well, it is what it is.
Tragic, tragic, tragic. I am so sorry that went south for you. But you're going to be able to join me in the booth now, and what do we like to call this? Talk shit about your friends driving, and it's a side-by-side. James Pendry, excuse me, dives into the pits out of that battle with James Blint at the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, looks like these two are having a pretty good battle. I am back in the server, just in the pits, so yeah, I can follow along that way.
Ah, I've also got it up on Discord. I figured why not risk it for the biscuit.
Now, you could probably pull the Discord down just in case it messes with the stream.
Fantastic. They'll save my bandwidth for other things like what I download.
So it looks like a pretty good race, other than a couple of disconnects at the beginning.
And who cares
And I
about
guess
those
there was a
guys?
crash right at the start, right, that I luckily avoided.
Oh, yeah. Holy Toledo, you're very lucky about that. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Mike was not so lucky, though.
Yeah, I saw he was at the back of the GTD field.
Yeah, and I think Andreas Lopez as well. Let me get back to the interval so I can see where everybody is. Because there's Mike, and then Vicente de Silva, I think that's who it was. They got caught up in another one.
Yeah, I did see him scraping along the wall going up the S's.
So a few people not having greatest of times and having to hit the big old restart button. But other than that, though, it's been a great race, and I think Blint and who's the other guy?
Pendry.
Yeah, I've been putting on a great show.
Two of the Jameses.
For the leaders of the category. Since you're here for a second, I'm gonna let you take charge, and I'm gonna go grab another glass of water. I am parched. 40 minutes of her. It's just exhausting to talk to.
Put it on a, if you're still here, put it on board with someone and I'll go for a lap around.
You want to do Greg Schirmer as he fights with Junior Gonzalez?
Yeah, sure. Hang on. Actually, I'm on James Leader right now, if that might be easier.
Okay. James Leader, let's go.
Alright, so James has just gone past the start-finish line, heading up the S's now to the bus stop, which is probably the sketchiest part of the circuit. Requires a very large send on the entry and to take most of these curbs. And you just try not to lose the rear on the curbs here and get a good exit out into this really long right-hander. This thing is punishing on the tires. It's probably the fastest and I guess highest downforce section of the track, or corner at least. And then we enter the boot, we head downhill, and the track kind of falls away from you. It's very tricky to get the braking there. This part you can get on the throttle a little bit earlier than you would expect because it's sort of cambered and it's uphill. Gives you a little bit more grip than you would otherwise have. As James comes past the TCR here, I think that's Fred. And again, another downhill braking zone. Very tricky braking. The track sort of falls away from you. Coming up to exiting back out of the toe of the boot. Well, actually the boot itself. Another slower corner. We got a really fast corner for the second last one. A bit of a send. You got to turn in very hard to get the car rotated. And then a tricky braking zone over a crest for the last corner. and try not to hit the wall on the way out. Maximize your exit to the finish line.
And that's a lap around Watkins Glen. You never say it. You never say that. Like, it makes me so sad that you never say that.
I said it in the videos.
Yes, only because I demanded it. Oh no, it looks like there's a Corvette off. That might have been De Silva. No, we're looking at De Silva. Who is that? Who's that behind? Is that Ramiro? No, who was that? Oh, it was Andreas Lopez. It was Andreas Lopez going off at the edge of the toe and just round. And then
I see him now. Looks like he's recovered.
Yeah, he's going again. And then that's Vicente De Silva in the Lambo. Okay. A little awkward watching a faster car get passed by the slower car and then trying to figure out what happened. And then for a while there, Greg Schimmer was fighting with Robert Walia for a long time for the lead of GTD. But Greg Schimmer...
yeah, what's going on with Greg? He's back.
Yeah.
I guess he pitted?
I don't think so. I don't think Greg... Well, let's check.
Well, maybe he's just been having some issues.
Like I said, he was fighting with Walia for... Greg looks to have had 2 stops. So, yeah, maybe he did take one of his regularly scheduled and perhaps one other one. Or an incident.
That explains it, because, yeah, he's behind a few of the GTDs now.
Yep.
Which Greg had good pace in practice and qualifying, so
He
I would
did.
expect him to be there.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised as well. Look at the intervals again. Try to figure out where Greg is relative to other cars on track. Or actually, go with the gaps. And who hasn't pit, I guess? Oh, Francisco Jr. Gonzalez got a 5-second penalty for speeding.
Oh, damn.
Speaking of the pits, I'm going to imagine. Yep, that is Francisco Jr. Gonzalez now just leaving the pits. Or, excuse me, getting to his pit stall, I should say. And he's going to have to get that warning and serve that penalty.
So I think out of the lead battle, the only person that's pitted is James Pendry. So I imagine we're past halfway of the race now. I imagine the other Jameses will start thinking about pitting soon too. So I guess there'll be a bit of a pit stop battle between James Blint and James Pendry to watch.
Now, how much of an undercut do you think is there for Pendry to hold on to, if any?
To be honest, I'm surprised he pitted. Maybe he just didn't put enough fuel in, because he did say in the interview that he was winging it, so he might have had to have pit. But, you know, he had track position. I would have expected Blint to be the one to get out from behind him and try and jump him in the pits.
I think Pendry just didn't want to fight it out. I just think he didn't want to keep on getting damage and allow James Leader to potentially catch it back up. Because look at him now; he's pretty much in clear air. You know, other than having to fight Greg Schimmer.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that, he's just handed James Blint clean air as well.
Yeah,
so
he's definitely now
I'm
the
not
leader
sure
of
that
the
was the
race.
right decision.
No, you're right, because he's the leader of the race. When people see the number 1, they definitely move out of the way a lot faster than they would for number 3 or number 4.
And also, you know, James Blint is obviously very fast. He always is. Every time we do these races, he's very quick. He's normally at the front. I'm not sure he reached his potential in qualifying, because in practice I saw him significantly faster than other people.
Oh.
So giving him the clear air may not have been the right choice here.
Uh-oh. That's a good point, because anytime that James Blint fell back, kind of got out of the rhythm of Pendry, he was able to close down a second gap multiple times. It was just trying to get that move to stick is where he had issues with Pendry.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe it wasn't Pendry's choice. Like I said, maybe he didn't have enough fuel. But I'm sure at this point, Blint is rubbing his hands together thinking he's going to jump him. And it looks like he's going into the pits now, so we will see soon.
Just as soon as I looked away from James Blint, he goes into the pits. And where is Pendry out on track? Coming through the heel right now, battling with traffic, getting through Pasha Patterson.
The other thing too that might be a factor is James Blint might be only having to take like a smaller amount of fuel than Pendry because he went longer. So his pit stop might be significantly quicker.
Oh, Blint is out of the box and already on track. Well and clear of James Pendry now, just getting to the bottom of turn 1. And it looks like James Pendry's a little heated about that as he pushed hard to get through traffic.
Yep, so I guess our speculation was correct. I think James Pendry's been, I guess, learning a bit too much from maybe Ferrari's strategy crew. Yeah, there's a bit of a blunder there.
Absolutely. James Blint delivering the blunder. Staying out.
Pendry.
No, James Blint delivering the blunder by staying out and keeping it cool.
Oh, delivering it, yeah. Sure. So what's the gap now?
9 seconds. Holy Toledo.
Wow. Yeah, that's
significant.
a bad strategy call.
That is significant, but what concerns me a little bit is James Leader's opportunities dwindling because James Blint is only 13 seconds behind James Leader right now, if I'm reading this right. So even if James Leader pits now, he's definitely not in this battle for first and second place in categories of GTLM.
No, I think he was just a little bit off the pace for this first stint, so he fell back a good 15-20 seconds, I think.
We're gonna have to take a look at the live timing to see what James Leader's pace has been like since he's probably learned a thing or two about the track.
Can you send me a link to that if you have it?
Yeah, 43.2 for James Leader right now. Looks like a 42.9 from Blint and a 42.7 from Pendry being their fastest. Looks like Pridgeon is in the pits. Hopefully for the right reason this time. Coming out now. Trying to do something with this recovery drive. Looks like because Pridgeon is the one that DC'd out on the grid.
Yep. So he's made it back past 3 of the GTLMs.
Yep.
So that's a pretty good recovery for him, and he might get Greg yet. And
he fought for those on track overtakes, I believe. I saw those on stream, so hard fought battles for him. Now that his car has gone through the car wash, hopefully he can make his way through Fazal and Crane and back to Greg Schimmer, who hasn't had a fortunate race so far. 38 minutes left on the clock, though. Anybody's race, right?
What's happening with the TCR? I guess, it looks like Fred's made it all the way back to the front.
Sure has. That's surprising.
I guess Pasha had that incident with, I think it was Robert Wylier.
Oh,
Not sure if you saw that one, but yeah, Pasha sounded like a big one. I didn't see it, but yeah, I heard it in the voice chat.
Ah. Gonna have to get a timestamp and a replay out of that one.
Has everyone in the TCRs pitted? I assume they must have, because I think we could only go halfway.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Everybody pit, and if I'm not mistaken, a couple of people pit early, like around the 50-minute mark, so I'm expecting another pit from what you told me as far as the strategy is concerned, right?
Yeah, I think on my fuel calculator was saying I could maybe do 48-ish minutes.
Ooh.
So yeah, if they pitted in the first like half an hour, there's definitely going to be a 2-stop here.
All right, we'll keep our eyes peeled. Maybe Mason and Kemp might be stuck with a 2-stop strategy after having to pit early. Gaps seem to have widened up a little bit now. Things finally settling down for the most part. Just lap traffic becoming the thing to survive. Three different categories of car, Luke. What is the speed difference between the three?
It's not as large as some of the series we've raced. Like last time we did, what were the classes? LMP1 or was it LMP2?
LMP2.
It was a prototype.
Yeah.
It was a prototype class, very fast, and then the other two were GT cars. So there was a good 10 seconds a lap between the top two classes. That time, I think the top two classes here are kind of different flavors of the same car, just a GTLM and a GTD. So there's only a few seconds, maybe 2 or 3 at most, and then there's about 10 seconds or 8 to 10 seconds back to the TCRs from there. So it's enough, but yeah, it's not like you've got prototypes coming around you at warp speed like some other races that we've done.
Oh no, absolutely not. But the interesting thing being the, I guess the lack of speed differential between the GTLM and GTD categories, where you get them kind of all mixed up and discombobulated right now. You got a whole grid of GTLMs up at the front. It's gonna be a whole pack, you should say, between the Jameses. Then you got Robert Walia and then Shimmer, Lopez, and Pridgeon. You know, obviously for technical issues, but a little bit mixed up back here.
Yeah, I think even without the technical issues, we would have seen the quicker GTDs overtaking the slower GTLMs because they're really not that far away from each other.
And what is the bigger difference? Just the aero package that's available to these guys?
Yeah, the GTLMs, it kind of changes a little bit. Like this, we're sort of at the end of the GTLM.
Oh, this is the battle for lead in TCR. Looks like Fred may have taken their second pit stop. Came out just in front of Emiliano Videla, right in front of the S's now.
I see. So we did have to have a second stop there, which has put Pasha Patterson back to the lead. Be interesting to see how this goes for the next 30 minutes.
That is Fred's second stop. So Pasha's still on the one-stopper, though.
Yeah, I don't think he'll need to do another stop because he only just pitted like 10 minutes ago.
Holy Toledo. I wonder if... bit of a lockup from Fred now. Think he must have gotten new tires. Doesn't care too much about how much he's damaged them. He's only got 30 minutes left to go with the leading class coming through at the toe. Pendry is pushing.
Gets a little bit hairy when you just catch someone right at the wrong time.
Sure does, and it looked uncomfortable. I bet it's just uncomfortable in the cars.
Yeah, being in the slowest class, you've kind of got to have eyes in the back of your head, which, you know, that's part of it. It's one of the things that I personally find pretty fun. It means that, you know, if you don't necessarily have a particularly good race in your own class, you're at least dodging other class cars, so keeps it very interesting for long races.
Absolutely. We've got gaps, you know, as big as 10 seconds right now, but there's still cars passing cars as we're looking at Pridgeon and Fazal next to each other. Both of them battle of the recovery drivers. A little flash from Pridgeon to let him know that he's here and making his way downtown, walking fast. I think faces are past and he's homebound.
It's good to see Adam making some moves. This is my fellow Blue Gang member.
Absolutely. One of the only remaining Blue Gangers out on field.
Hey, we still got someone in the hunt. James Leader's on the podium.
James Leader is out on the podium, only 14 seconds adrift from Pendry. And I'm sure he's got some fuel in the tank to catch back up. And it looks like Pridgeon's through on Fazal.
So back to the differences. I think it's a little bit of aero, but it's mainly horsepower. They also have a different amount of driver aids. So typically the GTLMs won't have ABS, which makes them a little bit trickier to drive. But
DNF from Walia.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know.
Was that in the boot just then? I saw someone slowing down.
I don't know what happened in the boot, but the Beamer is off the track. And the GTD leader is no more. Ramiro Dominguez inheriting that. Apologize for interrupting you. So when you talk about horsepower restrictions or horsepower differences, is that just from like a restrictor as far as airflow, or is it something that they actually modify as far as the engine's concerned?
Yeah, I think it is just airflow. Don't quote me on that. I haven't read the regulations, but like a lot of these cars are using the same engines, the same platform. So they kind of just tailor it to the specific regulations. But yeah, then obviously you have TCR, which are completely different vehicles to the GT cars. They're
100%.
front-wheel drive, a lot less power, pretty boxy. Basically front-wheel drive boxes, and they're a lot of fun to drive.
It looks like something that I would, buy and take out to the autocross track, right?
Yeah, very agile. They do suffer from a bit of understeer being front-wheel drive, but you know, you just set the wing to negative and give all the grip to the front, and then just go for it.
These TCR drivers seem to be navigating that pretty well. Emiliano Videla falling back from Fred, though, pretty significantly. 5 seconds now. Those new tires and pit stop helping him out significantly. Emiliano must be pushing to the end as well, you think?
I would say so. The normal strategy would have just been one stop. I think Fred must have pit for damage from that first incident. So that's why he's ended up on a 2-stopper.
Oh, looks like Greg Schimmer had a moment, and a couple cars went through past him, TCR included. But now, so when you say all that, oh, there's Greg trying to get past that TCR that he got caught up with just a second ago. And it looks like Lopez and Schimmer actually now battling for position around this TCR. And Lopez made it happen. Greg Schimmer got choked up, boxed in. And now Lopez is through. Looks like Leonard's making their pit of the race for the GTLM category. Next to Hanley, who's making their final pit probably. Robert Walia has not returned to claim their place in GTD, so I think that'll be it for Ramiro Dominguez. Unless something else catastrophic happens.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Robert. I didn't see it, but did it look like he disconnected, or did he just pull over?
I don't know. I didn't even see him. I just saw the DNF pop up and it tumbled down the order.
Maybe he had a disconnect or a gear failure or something that stopped him.
Possibly. You said you saw someone slowing down at the boot at least.
Yeah, I did see someone. I think it was a BMW. I can't remember what his livery looks like. I have to check the spotter guide.
He's got the red and white one.
Okay, no, this was a yellow one. Also might have been an Aston. Who knows? Something happened. Someone slowed down.
And it also might have been GTLM or TCR.
It was a coincidence.
That was the
all right?
funniest thing
Said
I've ever
someone
heard.
Quit, and I saw someone stop.
Oh, and a big old wiggle from Andreas Lopez trying to escape from Greg Schimmer as fast as he can. 1.5 separating the two.
So Pendry has actually pulled this gap down. It's down to 2 seconds or close. Yeah, 2.4 seconds from, what was it, 6 or 9 or something when they
something like
finished
that.
the pit cycle?
Yeah, you're right. And it's about 4/10 he chopped away that last lap alone, so you're definitely not wrong. Both of those guys are pushing as hard as they can. Personal best for both of them. Personal best in that stint, I should say. looks like Pendry's pushing hard, but off he goes through the chicane. Oh,
Looks
and
like
he is
the,
pushing madly.
I think the temperature's coming down a little bit too. But an interesting addition to this series is Mike was able to run a weather plan, so variable weather, basically dictated by his plan, but at least it's changing weather rather than just static like AC normally has. And yeah, I just noticed the track grip is back to 99% now. I think it was at 100 before.
Oh. Hendry's making his way through traffic. Yeah, you're right about that. The temperature came down to 28 degrees Celsius, at least from what I could see. The track has been fluctuating maybe. I still see it as 100% optimum, but maybe fluctuating around 99, 100%, 90, 100%.
Ah, that might be because I was disconnected. But either way, it is very cool that we can have this changing weather program that Mike's been able to implement.
Absolutely. And it looks great too.
Yeah, it does. It does follow the weather of this race from this year. The only thing that the difference is that there was a thunderstorm at the real race, and we don't have rain yet in AC. So instead, he's just got a really, really cloudy sky, which is what we've got right now.
Really dark and ominous cloud, and that's the feeling we got here. That is cool. It's amazing what you can do in this game. Just absolutely breathtaking.
It's incredible the longevity that people have added to it, from like the ridiculous modders that have just extended the life of this game that's what, like 7 years old now. It looks amazing. And those extended physics and stuff mean that there's so many good mods out there and so many like nice cars to drive and race.
The list goes on, like you talked about the last championship we were in, we had the GTLMs and we had the prototypes battling it out as well, so that was always fun to see. And then this one we have GTLMs and GTDs and TCRs for their last going, and showing, I should say.
So in the TCR class, we've got Fred catching Pasha at the rate of a second a lap at the moment. And the gap is about 6 seconds. So I imagine we'll be seeing a battle at some point unless something goes wrong for either of them.
And Fred is pushing extremely hard. We saw him do a little kick flip over the curb at the bus stop.
Oh, it looks like James Pendry's been in the wall too.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm flip-flopping everywhere, but I just saw the damage notification come up.
Nope.
And he's lost a chunk of time.
Oh, good, you're right. He lost about 2 seconds, hasn't he? Or about a second and a half now. We know he was pushing. We saw him just the way he was navigating traffic.
Yeah, I think he was in the last corner, so I'm going to guess he was pushing a bit too hard and ran wide into the wall.
Ugh, yeah.
Very, very easy to do.
Ooh, and you may have called it because the left-hand side of that car has big old tiger stripes down the side of it.
Yeah, it looks like it doesn't want to turn through that long right-hander either, so... That might be it for the battle for the lead, unfortunately.
Now, do you think he's got enough damage to allow James Leader to catch back up? I'm going to keep my eye on that gap. It was around 20 seconds, and it keeps on trundling down now.
Yeah, we still have 22 minutes in the race, so it could be.
Wow, almost a second already.
Times.
Holy smokes. Yeah, keep an eye on the lap times indeed. The timing tower is up. Let's take a look at Greg Schimmer, though. He's gained that time back to Andreas Lopez, less than a second separating them two.
I think Adam Pridgeon's only a straight behind those two as well.
Oh, little lockout from the TCR forces the Panamanian wide. Now stuck in the sandwich of GTLM cars.
Yeah, you'll be seeing that lock up a lot from these things because it's always the rear inside wheel. There's like no weight on the back of the car, and the whole thing just lifts off the ground, and it makes a bit of smoke when it touches back down.
Uh-oh, Pendry's in the pits. That might be it for him. You called it. It is being told now he's taking the necessary repairs, but I don't think he's going to be able to take that back to James Leader in due time. 21 minutes left on the clock. What are your thoughts?
That must have been a big one. We didn't see it, but he's been in the pits for a long time. So either he's got a bunch of repairs or... Oh, no, he's moving now. So he's not given up, which I think is a good choice because he's probably still on the podium at this point. But yeah, that must have been a big crash.
He's been through the car wash. He's looking squeaky clean. James Pendry on the recovery drive just needs to get it home safely for the bronze.
Yeah, I don't think he's in any risk of losing the third position. So, and he's now half a lap behind James Leader. So I doubt he'll catch up at this point.
And about a quarter or at least half a lap ahead of Lopez at this point, right?
Yeah, he's kind of in no man's land now. It's time to just bring it home.
Oh yeah, almost 3/4 ahead of a lap ahead of Lopez, it looks like. So he's free and clear. Greg Schimmer still staying in the wake of Lopez. Floating around that 1 second mark, but can't catch back up. Are you still disconnecting back and forth?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like every 5 minutes I drop out for some reason.
Good thing you
Look
didn't
into
just
what's
get back
going
in to
on.
start driving.
Yeah.
That would have been annoying.
Well, yeah, after the second one, I was like, there's no point continuing. I'm 2 laps down now.
Wow, it is getting even more ominous than before. I know you mentioned that the weather was going to get dark, but it got dark all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think the real weather, it was a thunderstorm, so Mike's tried to, get as good of a substitute as
side
there
by
is for that.
side contact, Schimmer with Gonzalez. That's going to thwart his efforts to get through and catch back up to Lopez. Sorry to interrupt you.
No worries. I think we've got Fred getting reasonably close to Passion now, so keep an eye on that battle coming up.
Good call. Do want to see how this ends up going for Gonzalez and Schimmer.
Yeah, he's not quite there, so you could wait a little bit, but they will definitely be on in the last sort of 15 minutes of the race, I think.
There we go. Schimmer's finally through on Gonzalez.
I don't know, I kind of like Schimmer better.
I
Suits
kinda
his
like-
personality.
Because he's got such a shimmering personality. And a positive outlook on life. That's why we love him, Greg Schimmer. Oh, down to a 1.5 seconds. Patterson's got to be sweating bullets. I wish I could pull up his stream for all of us to enjoy right now. This would be fun to watch.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to go look at that now. Let's see how much he's sweating.
Oh, God, I want to figure that out for next. Oh, my God, there's a TCR off in front of Patterson and Fred. They just pulled right off. That's got to be Kemp. It sure was. Dove out of the way. It's up to Patterson and Fred to get it done. 1 second remaining, 17.5 minutes left.
On Passion's stream, he's just said, all right, here's the fight. It begins now. So he's ready. He's prepared.
Fantastic.
Or maybe he's just trying to psych himself up, so, fake it till you make it, basically.
Exactly.
He's probably not exactly prepared for this.
He's like a boxer, pounding his chest, giving him a little bit of adrenaline right now.
Yeah.
Getting built up for the fight that's about to ensue.
I don't think he's not going to roll over. Like, at this point, Fred is a bit quicker looking at the times, but I drove in practice with Pasha just before the race, and I was also, half a second quicker maybe, and it was hard to pass him. It was not easy. We went side by side for a good 3/4 of a lap before I could get it done.
Catching is one thing, they always say. Passing is another. Is it especially true for the TCR because of the slipstream or the horsepower? What makes it so challenging?
Yeah, they don't have too much of a slipstream.
Oh,
to be
Fred's
honest.
off in the bus stop.
Oh, that's going to hurt his chances.
Sure is. He's lost about a
mistake there.
second.
Yeah. But yeah, they don't have too much of a slipstream. You'd think they would because it's kind of like just a box punching a hole in the air. But they don't have that much aero to begin with, so there's not that much drag to take off anyway. So yeah, it's quite challenging to pass, and then you really got to send it up the inside, and then they tend to lock the rear brakes, so that gets a bit sketchy if you're trying to, go a little bit later than you normally would. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Sure will. TCR did not end up the way I expected it would, that's for sure. Especially with a couple DNFs that we had and the disconnected boot of Fred. But rejoined and resumed his place in the grid, it looks like. Now, how do you think... So, when you were battling it out with Pasha, that was probably with equal tires, equal fuel level, something like that, right?
Yeah.
How is it going to be now with Pasha on pretty much 45-minute-old tires? And Fred on considerably new stints, 9/10 faster. That's that last lap alone, even with the mistake Fred had. Oh no! Pedri's having another big tank slapper at the heel and goes into the iconic blue Armco of Watkins Glen. All he had to do was drive it home, and he was pushing hard and threw it into the wall.
I think this has been the point where the engineer comes on the radio and tells him to calm down and bring it home.
Greg Schimmer PM'd me or DM'd me a little bit before this race and asked me if I would be willing to be his race engineer. Unfortunately, I was a little unable to do so. I apologize, buddy, but that sounds like it would have been fun. I would have been that guy.
It's alright, I think bringing this broadcast to the world is a little bit more important than telling Greg to send it every 5 minutes.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to get people's Twitch broadcasts up on stream so we can just include them in this. John Cranes had a pretty squeaky clean race so far, up into second place in GTD. Not much to be said about that.
Wow, he's definitely been under the radar. I had no idea he was in that position.
I had no idea myself until just now, but super clean and consistent. John Crane's always been the person to strike me as the race will come to me, just keep on driving no matter what happens. So the luck has gone his way.
Yeah, John's a natural fit for multi-class racing. He's very aware of his surroundings. He's careful. He doesn't typically do anything too stupid. So it's not surprising he does well in this sort of situation.
And is this going to be one of John's first endurance races, I guess? Or no?
For John?
Yeah.
No, he was around in the last one we did too.
Oh, okay.
I think he was also around in the very first one I did with PSR, because I remember we were in the same car and he smoked me.
Vicente de Silva and Santa Maria side by side as they enter the boot there. Going through the tongue. Side by side, looking at the toe. Santa Maria's on the outside, trying to set up a switchback on De Silva. Can't quite execute it there. Pushes out to the grass. And that might be it. 12 minutes left on the clock. It's not over yet. Here's the battle we've been waiting for. Fred and Patterson going at it toe to toe as they come
Got
to
a
the
GTD
heel.
in the mix as well.
Sure is. Oh, right on the backside of, on the outside, boxes Fred in. Towards any attempt. Fred's trying to tuck in behind the GTD. Can't do it. Goes back behind Pasha, but went back to tuck in. Pasha closed the door. And Fred is off. Loses another second or two. Got another car. GTLM making their way through. Looks like Pendry's had a DNF. He's out of this race, but we're staying on the TCR battle for now.
Yeah, that got real spicy for a second there.
It sure
I
did.
suspect Pasha didn't realize he had that much overlap with him and just turned back in to get a good exit.
I was going to ask you, did you get a better look at that than I did? Because I didn't quite get a great look at the action. My angle was a little weird.
Yeah, I'm on board with Fred right now. So Pasha ran a little bit wide. He overshot the corner, and Fred just stuck to the apex. And but yeah, there was some overlap. Unfortunately, Pasha came back and made contact. But you know, it's racing. They're still going, so we're going to continue to watch this battle.
Copy that. Copy that. And Fred still has the pace beneath him to stay a threat to Pasha. Gap's back down to 0.6. Not to mention GTD battle still rages on. Mike Fazal's now only a half second back from DJ Harris. Oh,
I've
no.
got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Pasha holds onto this win, do you think it will top his appearance on Jeopardy?
Oh.
It's a tough one.
No, if he wins the championship, yes.
Okay.
If he wins
Yeah,
the
that's a fair call.
If he wins the championship, 100%. If he wins the race, probably not.
Yeah.
He'll be
I
very...
think the difference is he's been dreaming of getting onto Jeopardy his whole life and finally made it, so
Yeah.
I don't think he's been dreaming about winning this race his whole life.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Fred's got to have a big old run out of the final corner.
Yeah, I think he might do it here. Let's see what happens.
On the inside of turn one, Pasha delayed his entry by a lot to make sure he left the space, just like Brother Alonso told us to. Everything is squeaky clean. John Crane trying to make his way up through the S's through these guys. Did so carefully. Oh, looks like looks like Mike Fazal actually got past DJ Harris, who missed that battle in the heat of the moment. Looks like Emiliano Vidella's back on track and connected, but unfortunately back into 18th place and 4th in category now.
Oh, so is that another disconnect?
Looks
Is
like
that what
another-
happened to Emiliano?
Yep, I believe so, and that's not his first disconnect. I think that's his second or third.
Damn. We'll have to look into what's going on here, because that really sucks for everyone.
Absolutely, and I mean, you're going to expect some technical difficulties on a global platform like this. It's good that we have the drop round. Hopefully that can solve the issues before the next race goes down. Oh, on the inside, GTD battling GTLM. Lopez through on Dominguez. Heads up driving from the both of them to allow that to happen. So now the gap between Fred and Patterson has grown to 1.5. I think that's going to be nails in the coffin for Patterson's chances at a victory here. Nothing goes on to his bumper today. Sad to say.
Yeah, I think he's at a tire disadvantage at this point. End of the race. Fred pitted a lot later, so it's not really much he could do, but he's keeping up. It's not like he's completely being dropped, but
Absolutely not.
second will be a good result for him. I think he'll be happy. He'll just be thinking about what could have been with the incident from earlier in the race with I think it was Robert Walia.
Oh,
So
that's a
maybe
good
if that didn't
point.
happen, Pasha would have been in
Oh.
a better position. But it is what it is. It's racing.
Yep, can't play the what if games, right? This is racing, and you called it way earlier on in the race. It's a battle of the American make cars. Pridgeon on Schimmer or Shimmer.
So I'm gonna have to be a little bit biased here and put my money on Pridgeon just because he's in my livery.
Blue gang, blue gang, blue gang. TCR
also-
sticking outside, Emiliano Videla. Oh, this might be it, though. Greg being cautious around the TCR. Scheimer lets Pridgeon through while being careful with the TCRs. Why would you go and do something like that?
It's like the opposite of a commentator's curse, right? I said Adam was going to get it done, and he got it done immediately.
Immediately.
Oh, he's just made a mistake, though, so let's see.
Oh, Greg followed him right through, trying to find the fast way around Watkins Glen. James Blint now with a 30-second penalty for speeding. What?
What? Did he not have enough fuel?
James Blint is in the pits, I believe, for the second time.
He must not
He
have had enough fuel.
is not only, but had to serve a 30-second penalty for speeding. This is going to hand James Leader the lead and Andreas Lopez P2 potentially.
Wow. Apparently this James has been taking a leaf out of Ferrari's strategy books as well, because that is a massive mistake.
Wow, wow, wow. Where is Andreas Lopez coming around the final corner now? Blint's just getting the wheels spinning, and to the line he goes. James Blint, 5-second penalty for crossing the line. If he can't catch a break, Andreas Lopez coming to the line himself right now. James Blint has got to keep it together. He's got a 5-second penalty attached to his time right now. I got no more words, Luke. I got no more words.
Yeah, I guess when it rains, it pours. I did hear from Mike. He was saying that Blint might have been away from sim racing for a while. So I guess these are the cracks that show when you are, a bit rusty. Clearly, I don't know what happened with his fuel strategy, but that's definitely not the optimal strategy to pit in the last 5 minutes of the race. So I guess he made a mistake there, and then just compounding that mistake with the speeding and crossing the pit lane penalties. That's just an absolute disaster for his race.
Yep, and thankfully it's not over yet. Looks like Lopez is quite a ways back. So there's going to be time for him to keep it collected. 3 minutes now.
What's the gap, though? Because Blint has 35 seconds added on to the end of the race, right?
No, I think they must have served it in the pits, had they not?
Well, he can't have served the 5-second because it was on the pit exit.
Right, so he can't have served the 5, but I think he had to have served the 30 seconds once he got to the line, once he got to his
I don't
box,
think
right?
he was in that. I don't think he was in for that long. I'm pretty sure these penalties get
no.
applied post-race.
Oh, no. Let's look at the gap then. So it looks like... Oh, it just shed it. It just said it a second ago. Can we do it for just GTLM? No, it just tells me the lap. It doesn't look like... It looks like a quarter of a lap. So maybe about
just
45
usually-
seconds?
No, I think it's tighter than that. Like, Blint's just coming out of the bus stop, and Lopez is coming into the bus stop now.
Oh, Hanley's into the wall. Was battling it out with Santa Maria in GTD and just went too hot.
Yeah, it's like a full straight between Lopez and Blint at the moment, so definitely less than 35 seconds if it is applied at the end of the race.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Championship standing implications just from penalties in race 1. And there's more penalties to be divvied out then. Someone else had a speeding penalty that they must not have served then. Time to be applied at the end of the race. Oh no! Greg Scheimer has a moment at the heel.
And he's panicking. Saw him nearly spin 3 times trying to take off. That's when you know he's
Tired.
maybe panicking a little bit to get back going, keep this position.
I think all the drivers are just a bit fatigued at this point. 90 minutes is a long time to be pushing, and especially with traffic constantly surrounding you. Gonna be white knuckling it the entire time. Hanley has a wiggle at the toe.
Adam Pridgeon is not that far behind Lopez.
Holy Toledo.
Is it a +1 lap this race? I'm not sure. This might be the last lap, so he's not going to catch him on pace, but if Lopez makes a mistake, he could lose this podium.
That's 3 seconds there. Wait, hold on, wait 1 second. If Pridgeon is that close to Lopez, is Blint going to have enough penalties to go behind Pridgeon then?
Possibly. We'll see, I guess.
Wow. Adam Pridgeon might inherit a podium position in GTLM. Just
My timetable is saying Pridgeon is 37 seconds behind James Leader.
You're kidding.
So that would definitely be within 35 seconds of James Blint.
Wow. Wow.
Guess we'll have to double check and confirm that the penalties are applied post-race, but I don't think James Blint was in the pits for longer than 30 seconds.
We will, yeah. Well, I don't think so either, because he's only 23 seconds behind James Leader as he crossed the line. Taking the win here at IMSA. Holy Toledo's James Leader P1, James Blint in P2. Heading off the track in frustration. Lopez provisionally second place for Blint, I should say. Lopez in third, provisionally. We think he's going to be inheriting second place. Pridgeon in third, we think. Oh no, Ramiro Dominguez getting 10 seconds to their final time for something. And GTD in fifth place. And we think that's going to end up in Blint in fourth now. Dominguez in fifth, Scheimer in sixth, Crane in seventh, Fazal in eighth, Harris in ninth, Silva in 10 for GTD, Junior Gonzalez and Hanley running it out for GTLM, and then Santa Maria, and that's it for GTD behind De Silva. And then for TCR, it's Fred getting it over on Pasha Patterson, Mason Videla being the finishers of this race. Luke, who do we want to speak to in the Discord? Let's go get some interviews, huh?
Well, you better talk to James Leader, I guess, pulling that win out of nowhere.
Yeah, let's go. James Leader, how are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. I did not expect that result.
How did you do it? Was it consistency alone, or was it all in the plan?
Yes, it was my master plan for the two people in front of me to pit in the last 20 minutes. I guess with repairs? I don't even know. I was like 30 seconds behind.
You were quite a ways behind. Is Blint in the booth with us? Is he here to defend what happened?
I don't think he is.
No.
Ah, man, I want to hear what happened to Blint and if those penalties got served or not, because obviously that has implications for the rest of the grid. Excited to hear what happens to Pridgeon and Lopez. But Pridgeon well, thank you very much. James, is there anything else you want to talk about here before I grab Adam Pridgeon and talk to him about his recovery drive?
Not really. Just not too much happened in my race. I just kept taking off laps, and then eventually it came to me. So just consistency worked this time.
Sure did. Congratulations on the victory, and good luck in Heat 2. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks.
Gonna see if we can grab Adam Pridgeon and drag him into the booth. Adam Pridgeon, are you there with
Yes,
my
sir.
trackside reporter? Adam Pridgeon, great to have you. How are you doing, and what a recovery drive? Are you sweaty or what?
I might be the sweatiest man alive right now.
How did you do it? Or first of all, what happened?
So, yeah, right near the end of the formation lap, I disconnected. So, reconnected real quick and then left the pits as the entire field passed me. So, I started a lap down and I just said, screw it, like, get your head down, just bang out the laps. And I don't know. I don't know what happened in front of me. There must have been some sort of debauchery because I was originally starting in 5th and I finished the race in 4th.
There was just, I mean, I still don't know. I mean, Pendry just had moment after moment, unfortunately, on their own. Blint, not sure why they had to go for the second pit stop there at the end. I think that might have been fuel, Luke Bowmeister suspects. So we'll talk to Blint shortly and figure out what happened or find out what happens via the Discord. But pleasantly surprised, and you got to be as well. Was it just attrition that got you to the line, or what was it?
I don't know. I think it was that. Plus, I don't think I made a single mistake, and I avoided quite a few close disasters. So I think it was a combo of all those things.
And making your way through traffic
So
safely.
if the penalties that we saw are applied post-race, we'll have to confirm this with Mike.
Oh, yeah.
We think you might have made it onto the podium because Blint got a 30-second penalty on the way into his last pit stop and then 5 seconds again on the exit. And I think you were 38 seconds behind the leader, James Leader. So that's definitely within striking range of Blint.
That is
So
awesome.
that's basically from a disconnect. You luckily blue gang banged your way back to a podium.
Hell yeah. That's the blue gang bang way.
The Blue Gang Bang Way. You heard it here, folks.
Just a slight correction, though. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. I think you were a lap and 38 seconds behind.
Oh no!
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Because I'm looking at the results now.
Wait, so was Lopez a lap behind you two guys as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that might have saved James Blint then.
That
But
should
either
be.
way, back to 4th from a disconnect is still an amazing drive.
Well,
Thanks,
then-
guys.
Then James, Pendry could have stayed in the fight as well if he was a whole lap ahead. And he definitely would have been on for a podium even with whatever catastrophe he had.
Yeah, at that point, the top 3 were a lap ahead of everyone, I think.
Sega, are you still streaming?
I sure am. Yeah, I'm in the middle of an interview, Greg. Greg.
Well, he's on the stream
yeah.
ending soon screen. So.
Yeah, because I'm in the middle of an interview, Greg. God damn it. Talk to my
Sorry.
grandfather.
While you're here, Greg, what happened at the end there?
Yeah, Greg, while you're here.
Where?
Wow, you lost a position in the last 5 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, where was it? Adam, where was it? I forgot.
Oh, yeah, between you and Pridgeon. That's right.
The
T1.
carousel
No,
The
tournament.
carousel.
Was
yeah,
it?
I hit the. I went to pass somebody
Oh,
on
yeah.
the inside, one of the TCR cars, and I touched the inside rumble strip, and it made me spin, or I got on the brakes. I don't remember, and I ended up going up into the corner. No, what's that?
I'm so glad you're not blaming that TCR car, because that was totally me, my friend.
That was you?
No.
No, it was a white. It was a colored car, not white. You were white to me.
No, well, that's because you didn't have a skin.
Yeah, but the whole
I think
race
it
he was white.
Pasha. Yeah, his skin's like bright orange.
And maybe it come. I don't know. I didn't know who it was, but no, it wasn't the person's fault that was on. I thought I was going to go and be able to go on the inside, and I just caught
Yep,
the rumble.
You just
strip
kind of
and-
got boxed in there.
I don't.
Yep.
Was that me? I don't remember where it was now.
I remember
Maybe
you
it
kind of
was.
got boxed in by that TCR. I think it was kind of coming towards the heel. You got checked
don't know.
up, and then Pridgeon was able to go through, and you kind of got boxed in for a second. But yeah, that was a good race from you, Shimmer. But yeah, expected to see you kind of up towards the front.
Ramirez.
And what's that?
And to pass him for a position. I mean, it wasn't for class, but overall, would have been a top 5.
And then I do want to wrap this up and get over to Pasha Patterson. If you got anything else to say, Greg, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm sorry. All right then, Pasha Patterson. We're gonna try to grab you the booth. Are you there with my trackside reporter, Luke Bomeister?
I am.
Right on, Pasha Patterson. How'd your race go? You were leading the charge for quite a bit of time, battling it out with Videla, and then Fred having a moment and then snapping back at you. Talk us through a little bit about what you had in the seat.
Well, I was prepared for a very mediocre mid-pack performance today, and then there was the kerfuffle on lap 1 going up the hill, and I found myself in the unlikely position of P2. So I was just kind of riding along to see how long that would last. And then we went through the pit cycle, and for whatever reason, Emiliano came out behind me. I don't know if he had a long pit stop or damage or whatever, but I found myself in the lead of the race. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then Fred just, both Emiliano and Fred just had this amazing pace on me. It was just a question of how long I would be able to hold him off. And it lasted a good long while. I'm pretty pleased with how that went. And then Fred got up to me. He had a little moment in the bus stop and gave me a little reprieve for a while. But then he caught me again into turn 1 and just brilliant dive. Like it was textbook. I was kind of prepared to be sent into the Armco, and instead he just kind of blazed on through. And I went for the cutback and failed utterly. But it was a great battle. I didn't expect to be anywhere near that position, and I'm just ecstatic. The Alpha is just super fun to drive, and I was just out there for an hour and a half, just having a ball.
Yeah, I think I was saying on air that me and you were messing around in practice a little bit, racing each other. And it was when Fred was coming up behind you, I was saying that it's not going to be super easy for Fred, because it doesn't matter if you have a decent pace advantage, it's really not easy to pass in these things on this track. And you were putting your car in all the right places for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to make that thing a bit wide, but it was good hard fair racing, and like I say, it was a good fight, and it ended arguably the way it should have, with Fred getting through, and I was just happy to not bin it and to come away with P2 is just fantastic.
Very good. That's a great result for the first round.
That's a great result for the first round, Pasha. You've got to be really thrilled about that, especially with the competition that you're up against in that category.
Yeah, this TCR field is no joke.
Absolutely. And speaking of people just absolutely demolishing their category, is John Crane still hanging around?
Hi there. I am here. But what is this about demolishing a category?
John Crane into P2 for the category of GTD, or do my eyes deceive me?
I wasn't even sure where I finished myself, so you tell me.
I'm pretty sure I see you about 7 seconds adrift from the leader, Ramiro Dominguez, and about 21 seconds against the recovering drive of Mike Fazal in GTD. So a good podium finish in P2 for you. What was the key to your success? I didn't even notice where you were until the end of the race, so you had zero chance of getting the commentator's curse.
No worries, my friend. You know what? I believe it was just consistency and not battling with anyone. That's just my my story. You know, when a faster car came up, gave them the space they needed, and when I came up on the slower class, I think I took my time. Pasha will confirm, I believe, that it was smooth and easy. And other than that, you know, I was looking at my lap times and they were pretty consistent. So that's it. Stay out of trouble and keep my head down.
That is the aim of the game in multi-class racing. So yeah, you did a great job of staying out of trouble. I don't think we noticed any sort of contact or moments that you had throughout the whole race. So yeah, that's a great result.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I may, since I was called out, I will echo that. The multi-class behavior from everybody in this race was just stellar. It was really great. We actually looked like we knew what we were doing out there.
It really did. I would say 99% of the issues that we saw on track were self-inflicted. Like, it was all self-inflicted. But John Crane, Luke Baumeister was saying earlier that you were just made for multi-class racing or endurance racing with your patience and your consistency and just your heads-up attitude to this thing and just keeping it clean. So just wanted to throw that out there. He was talking good things about you behind your back.
I'll take it. You know, you do learn something when you get old. So I guess there's that.
Well, right on. I think I've talked to just about everybody in here. Does anybody else have anything that they want to say or add to the stream while I still have it up?
Sounds like we're good.
Sounds like we're good. Well, with all things said and done, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you guys so much for indulging my little interview session. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for us here at the High Broadcasting booth. I guess that's what we're going to call it. I'm not quite sure what we're going to call it from now on. We'll figure out a good name for it next time. But this is going to wrap it up for us here. Thank you so much for hanging out, enjoying the stream, or watching it. Or maybe you didn't like it. I really don't care. But thank you so much to Luke Baumeister and the Blue Gang for making all of the graphics, the overlays, the scenes, all that stuff. It looks so good. It makes me look like I know, like I have my shit together. Thank you guys so much. And with that, please, everybody, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.